I've been thinking about this moment for a long time, not consciously maybe, not in the way you plan what you're going to say when something big happens, but somewhere in the back of my mind, in that quiet place where we keep the things we're not quite ready to face. I think I always knew this conversation would come, that one day the people who raised me, who know me better than I know myself sometimes, would sit me down and tell me something I needed to hear. Something true, something that changes everything. My family told me the truth today, and I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it because it's about you, about us, about this thing between us that I've been trying to understand, trying to name, trying to either embrace or run from, depending on what day you ask me, and hearing it from them, from the people who've watched me stumble through life, who've seen me at my worst and love me anyway, who know the difference between when I'm truly happy and when I'm just going through the motions. Hearing it from them made it real in a way I couldn't deny anymore. They told me I've been different since you came into my life. They told me they see it in the way I carry myself now, in the way I talk about the smallest moments of my day when you're part of them. They said I light up. That's the word my sister used. She said, you light up when you talk about them. Like someone turned on a switch inside you that we didn't even know was there. And my mom, she just looked at me with those eyes that have seen me through everything, every scraped knee and broken heart and moment of triumph. And she said, honey, this is different. This person is different. And you know it. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell them they were reading too much into things, that they were being romantic, that they were seeing what they wanted to see because they want me to be happy. But I couldn't, because deep down, in that place where we keep our most honest truths, I knew they were right. I've known for a while now. Maybe I've known since the beginning, since that first conversation that went on for hours without either of us noticing, since that first time you laughed at something I said and I felt it in my chest like a physical thing. You have to understand something about me. I've always been the careful one, the one who thinks things through, who weighs the options, who builds walls, not because I don't want to let people in, but because I've learned that not everyone deserves to be inside those walls. I've been hurt before. We all have. I've given pieces of myself to people who didn't know what to do with them, who didn't understand their value, who let them slip through their fingers like sand. And each time I told myself I was learning, getting wiser, building better defenses. But then you showed up, and somehow, without even trying, without laying siege to those walls or demanding entry, you just walked right through, like they weren't even there, like you had a key I didn't know I'd given you. My brother pulled me aside after dinner tonight. He's not usually the sentimental type. He's all practicality and logic, the one who fixes things with his hands and doesn't spend a lot of time talking about feelings. But he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, I've never seen you like this with anyone. And I've been watching because I care about you, because I don't want to see you get hurt. But this person, they're good for you. They make you better. They make you more yourself, somehow, if that makes any sense. And it does make sense. Perfect sense. Because that's exactly what you do. You don't try to change me or fix me or make me into someone I'm not. You just see me, the real me. The me that gets excited about weird things and worries too much and stays up too late thinking about the universe and sometimes doesn't know what to do with all the feelings inside. You see all of that and you don't run. You move closer. I think about the way you listen when I talk, really listen, like every word matters. I think about how you remember the small things I mentioned in passing, things I don't even remember telling you, how you showed up with my favorite coffee the morning after I'd had a terrible day, without me asking, because you just knew. How you laugh at my jokes, even the bad ones, especially the bad ones. Like my awkwardness is endearing instead of embarrassing. I think about the silence between us. Not the uncomfortable kind that you rush to fill with words that don't mean anything, but the comfortable kind, the kind where we can just exist together, where I can be lost in my own thoughts and you can be lost in yours, and somehow we're still connected, still together in that moment. That's rare. That's precious. I know that now. My family told me that I need to stop being afraid. That's what this was really about, this intervention of truth. They've watched me dance around this, around you, around what we could be together. They've seen me pull back when things get too real, when I feel too much, when the possibility of this becoming something important, something that could actually hurt me if it went wrong, becomes too real. And they called me out on it, with love but firmly. My dad, who's not great with emotional conversations, who usually hides behind his newspaper and lets my mom do the talking, he actually looked at me across the table and said, son, you're going to regret it if you let fear make this decision for you. I've lived long enough to know that the things we regret most aren't the risks we took and failed at. They're the risks we didn't take at all, the chances we didn't give ourselves, the people we were too scared to love properly. And I felt that. I felt it in my bones, in my gut, in that way you feel truth when it's spoken plainly and you can't hide from it anymore. Because they're right. I am afraid. I'm terrified, actually. I'm terrified of how much I care about you already, how much space you take up in my thoughts, how many of my plans for the future have started to include you without me consciously deciding to put you there. I'm terrified of needing someone, of giving them the power to hurt me, of building something beautiful that could crumble. I'm terrified of not being enough, of disappointing you, of you waking up one day and realizing you could do better. But I'm more terrified of living a half-life because I was too scared to reach for what I really want. And what I want is you. It's us. It's this thing we've been building, one conversation at a time, one shared moment at a time, one inside joke and one comfortable silence and one meaningful look across a crowded room at a time. I want the big things and the small things. I want lazy Sunday mornings and intense midnight conversations. I want to hear about your day, the boring parts and the exciting parts and everything in between. I want to be the person you think of when something funny happens, when something terrible happens, when something ordinary happens that somehow becomes special because you have someone to share it with. I want to know your dreams, your fears, your random thoughts at 3 in the morning. I want to remember how you take your coffee and what makes you laugh and what song you can't help but dance to, even when you're trying to be serious. I want to be there for the hard stuff too. The days when everything goes wrong, when you're tired and frustrated and you've had enough of the world. I want to be the person who can sit with you in that darkness and not try to fix it or minimize it, but just be there steady and sure until the light comes back. Because it always does, doesn't it? Especially when you don't have to face the darkness alone. My family saw all of this in me before I could admit it to myself. They saw me falling for you in slow motion, trying to convince myself I had it under control, that I could keep things casual, keep my heart protected. They watched me fail at that spectacularly, and instead of letting me keep lying to myself, they loved me enough to tell me the truth. You deserve the truth too. You deserve to know that when I'm with you, I'm more present than I am anywhere else. That your smile does something to me I can't quite explain. Something that makes the whole world feel lighter. That I've started seeing things differently since I met you. Noticing beauty I used to walk past. Finding joy in simple moments. T.S. because you've taught me just by being yourself, that's where life really happens. Not in the big dramatic gestures, but in the everyday magic of genuine connection. You deserve to know that I think about you constantly. When I'm driving and a song comes on that you'd love. When I see something beautiful and my first instinct is to share it with you. When I'm making decisions about my life and I find myself wondering what you'd think, how it might affect you, whether it brings me closer to the kind of person who deserves someone like you. I know I haven't always been good at showing this. I'm not always good with words when it matters most. Ironic as that might sound right now. Sometimes I get in my own head, overthink things, build up walls instead of bridges. Sometimes I'm so focused on not getting hurt that I forget about the beautiful possibility of being loved, of loving someone completely and having them love me back with the same intensity. But here's what my family helped me see today. Love isn't about playing it safe. It's not about protecting yourself from every possible pain or keeping people at arm's length just in case. Love is about seeing someone and deciding they're worth the risk, worth the vulnerability, worth showing up for every single day, even when it's scary, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you can't guarantee how the story ends, and you're worth it. You're worth every risk, every moment of fear, every leap of faith. You're worth me being brave for, worth me being honest for, worth me being the best version of myself I can possibly be. Not because you demand that or expect it, but because you inspire it. Because being RO, Unju makes me want to be better, do better, love better. I don't know what forever looks like. I don't think anyone really does. We can make plans and promises, but life has a way of surprising us, of taking us in directions we never imagined. But I know what right now looks like. Right now looks like you and me, this connection we've built, this foundation of friendship and respect, and genuine affection that feels solid enough to build something, lasting on. Right now looks like me being honest about my feelings instead of hiding behind fear or uncertainty. It looks like me telling you that I love you, not in some vague future sense or conditional way, but here now, as you are, as we are. I love the way you see the world. I love your compassion, your intelligence, your sense of humor that catches me off guard and makes me laugh when I least expect it. I love how you care about people, how you notice when someone's struggling and reach out to help. I love your quirks and your passions, and even the things you think are flaws but I find endearing. I love who I am when I'm with you. That might sound selfish, but I don't mean it that way. I mean that you bring out parts of me I'd forgotten were there. You make me believe in possibilities I'd given up on. You make me want to be courageous, to take chances, to live a fuller, richer, more authentic life. My family told me the truth today because they love me, because they want me to be happy, because they've watched me, keeping myself separate from this thing that could be so beautiful if I just let myself fall all the way in. And now I'm telling you the truth because you deserve it, because you deserve someone who shows up fully, who isn't halfway out the door before things even really begin. Because what we have, what we could have, is too important to treat with anything less than complete honesty. I can't ignore what they told me. I can't go back to pretending I don't feel what I feel, that you're not essential to my happiness, in a way I never expected anyone to be. I can't keep playing it safe when everything in me wants to dive in, to see where this goes, to build something real and lasting with you. So here I am, standing in front of you without my defenses, without my carefully constructed walls, without any pretense or protection. Here I am telling you that I love you, that I want this, that I want us. Not someday, not eventually, not when the timing is perfect, or when I've figured everything out. Now. Messy and imperfect and uncertain as it might be, I want this now. I want to wake up next to you and fall asleep knowing you're the last thing I think about. I want to build a life that has room for both our dreams, that supports both our growths, that becomes stronger because we're facing it together. I want the adventure of discovering all the things I don't know about you yet, all the layers and complexities that make you who you are. I want the comfort of the familiar too, the inside jokes and shared memories and the easy rhythm of two people who just fit. Most of all, I want you to know that you're not alone in this. Whatever you're feeling, whatever fears or hopes or questions you have, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. My family helped me see that today. They helped me see that the risk of loving you, of really going all in on this, is nothing compared to the risk of losing you. Because I was too scared to be honest. So this is me being honest. This is me being brave. This is me saying that my family told me the truth today. And the truth is that I'm in love with you. Completely, terrifyingly, wonderfully in love with you. And I can't ignore it anymore. I don't want to ignore it anymore. Whatever comes next, whatever you need from me, whatever this becomes, I'm here for it. I'm here for you always. Because here's what else I realized today. Sitting there with my family, feeling like they could see right through every defense I'd built, every excuse I'd made to myself about why now wasn't the right time or why I should wait just a little longer to be sure. I realized that I've been treating love like it's something you earn through certainty, like I need to have all my doubts resolved and all my fears conquered before I'm allowed to feel this deeply about someone. But that's not how it works, is it? Love isn't a prize you win after proving you're ready for it. It's not something that waits patiently while you work through every insecurity, every past hurt, every reason you've convinced yourself that opening up is dangerous. Love is what happens while you're still figuring things out. It's what grows in the spaces between your fears. In the moments when you forget to guard your heart because you're too busy laughing or talking or just existing alongside someone who makes existence feel like enough. My grandmother, she was there too at this family gathering that turned into an intervention about my heart. She's 92 years old, and she's seen more of life than the rest of us combined. She's buried a husband she loved for 60 years, raised 4 children, watched the world change in ways she never could have imagined. And she took my hand in hers, those hands that have held so much, done so much, loved so much. And she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Sweetheart, I've learned that love is the only thing we take with us when we go. Not the things we accumulated, not the achievements we're proud of, not the money we saved or the possessions we collected, just the love we gave and the love we received. That's what echoes. That's what matters. And if you found someone who makes your heart beat faster, who makes the ordinary feel extraordinary, who sees you and chooses you anyway, well, holding back from that isn't wisdom. It's just fear wearing wisdom's clothes." She's right. And I've been wearing those clothes for too long, pretending that my hesitation was about being careful, about being smart, about protecting myself from making a mistake. But you're not a mistake. How could you be? You're the best thing that's happened to me in longer than I can remember. You're the plot twist I didn't see coming, but now can't imagine my story without. I think about how we met, how random it seemed at the time. Just chance, just circumstance, just two people in the same place at the same time who happened to start talking. But was it really random? Sometimes I wonder if the universe doesn't arrange these things somehow, if there isn't something bigger than us that recognizes when two souls are meant to collide, meant to see each other, meant to start something that becomes bigger than either of them alone. I'm not usually the kind of person who talks about fate or destiny or cosmic plans. I'm practical, grounded, the type who believes we make our own luck through choices and effort. But then I met you, and suddenly I understand why people have believed in destiny for thousands of years. Because how else do you explain this? How else do you explain the way everything in my life seems to make more sense now, like all the hard times and wrong turns were just preparing me for this moment, for you, for us? Every heartbreak I survived taught me something about what I needed, what I wouldn't settle for, what real connection looks like. Every time I chose myself, chose to walk away from something that wasn't right, even when it would have been easier to stay, I was making space for this, for you, for something real and true and worth holding on to with both hands. My cousin, who went through a brutal divorce a few years ago, who swore she'd never open her heart again, who built walls that made mine look like paper fences, she spoke up too. She said she recognized what she saw between us because she'd had it once, and losing it was the worst pain she'd ever known. But even knowing that pain, even having lived through it, she said she'd do it all again. Because having loved like that, having been loved like that, even for a while, was worth every moment of heartbreak that came after. And then she said something that really got me. She said, "The tragedy isn't loving someone and losing them. The tragedy is having the chance to love someone and being too afraid to try. I don't want that to be my tragedy. I don't want to look back years from now and wonder what could have happened if I'd been braver, if I'd trusted in this feeling, if I'd believed in us the way my family apparently already does. I don't want the ghost of what might have been to haunt me because I was too caught up in protecting myself from pain that I forgot to reach for joy, because that's what you are to me. Joy. Pure, uncomplicated, genuine joy. When I'm with you, I'm not thinking about all the things that could go wrong. I'm not cataloging my fears or planning my exit strategy or keeping one foot out the door. I'm just here, present, alive in a way I haven't been in so long I'd forgotten what it felt like. You make me laugh until my stomach hurts. You make me think about things differently, challenge my assumptions, expand my world. You make me feel seen in a way that's both terrifying and exhilarating. Like you have X-ray vision that goes straight through all my carefully constructed personas to the real person underneath. And somehow, miraculously, you seem to like what you see there. I've spent so much of my life trying to be enough, trying to prove myself, to measure up to some impossible standard I set, or that I thought others set for me. Always pushing, always striving, always feeling like I was falling just a bit short of where I should be. But with you, I don't feel that pressure. With you, I'm just enough exactly as I am. Flawed and complicated and still figuring things out, and somehow that's okay. More than okay. You seem to appreciate the mess of me, the contradictions, the work in progress nature of this life I'm building. My family sees that. They see how I've relaxed since knowing you, how I've stopped trying so hard to control everything, how I've started to trust that things can work out even when I don't have every detail planned and perfected. They see me being more myself, more authentic, more willing to be vulnerable and make mistakes and admit when I don't have all the answers. That's what love does, I think. Real love, anyway. It doesn't demand perfection, it doesn't keep score. It doesn't wait until you've got your life completely together before it allows you to be happy. Real love meets you where you are and says, "This is good, you are good, we are good. Let's build something from here." I want to build something with you. I want to build mornings where we make coffee together and talk about our dreams from the night before. I want to build evenings where we cook dinner side by side or order takeout and eat it on the couch while we watch something we've both seen 100 times but still enjoy. I want to build adventures, both the big kind where we explore new places and the small kind where we discover new corners of our own city, new favorite spots, new traditions that become ours. I want to build a partnership where we make each other better, where we challenge each other to grow, where we support each other's dreams even when they're scary or uncertain. I want to be your biggest cheerleader and your safest place to fall. I want you to know that no matter what happens, no matter what challenges life throws at us, you have someone in your corner who believes in you completely, I want to build intimacy, the deep kind that goes beyond physical connection. Though I want that too. I want the intimacy of knowing each other's histories, our wounds and triumphs, our shame and pride. I want to know what shaped you, what hurt you, what healed you, what makes you who you are today. I want you to know the same about me. All the chapters of my story that led me to this moment, to you. I want to build trust, the kind that takes time but is worth every moment of patience it requires. I want us to learn each other's rhythms, our patterns, our needs and boundaries. I want to know when you need space and when you need closeness. When you need advice and when you just need someone to listen. I want you to learn the same about me, to feel safe enough to tell me what you need, confident that I'll hear you and honor what you're saying. My family told me they've never seen me willing to work this hard at something, to show up this consistently, to care this much about getting it right. And they're right. Because with other people, other relationships, there was always a part of me that held back, that kept an escape route open, that never fully committed to making it work. With you, I don't have that. I don't want that. I'm all in, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard because you're worth the effort. I want to build communication that's honest and kind, even when we disagree, even when we're frustrated or hurt or confused. I want us to be the kind of couple that can have difficult conversations without it meaning the end of everything, who can work through problems instead of running from them, who can say hard things with love and receive them with grace. I want to build fun too, lightness, playfulness. I want to make you laugh until you snort if you're the snorting type. I want inside jokes that no one else understands. I want to be silly with you, to let my guard down completely and just be ridiculous in a way I only feel safe doing with people I trust completely. I want to have adventures and take chances and try new things with you as my partner in crime, my co-conspirator, and making life as full and rich and interesting as it can possibly be. I want to build comfort, the kind where we can sit in silence without it being awkward, where we can exist in the same space doing different things and still feel connected. I want to know what you look like first thing in the morning, hair messy and face soft with sleep. I want you to know what I'm like when I'm sick, grumpy and needy in equal measure. I want all the unglamorous, ordinary, real-life moments that make up a life shared. My family reminded me today that I've been alone for a long time. Not lonely necessarily, but alone. Self-sufficient, independent, proud of not needing anyone. And there's strength in that, sure. There's value in being complete on your own and not requiring another person to make you whole. But there's also beauty in choosing to share your completeness with someone else, in letting someone add to your life, not because you need them to fill a void, but because they bring something extra, something special, something that makes good even better. You do that for me. You take my already full life and somehow make it fuller. You add color and texture and depth to days that were fine before but are extraordinary now. You make me appreciate things I used to take for granted. You make me present, mindful, aware of how precious time is, and how important it is to spend it with people who matter, and you matter. God, you matter so much. More than I knew someone could matter, more than I was prepared for, more than I knew how to handle at first. That's why I pulled back sometimes, why I got scared, why I tried to convince myself this was just a casual thing, just fun, just something light that didn't require me to risk my whole heart. But my family saw through that. They saw me falling in love, even when I was denying it to myself. They watched it happen in real time, this transformation. Someone who was fine alone to someone who had found something better than fine. Something that made alone feel lonely in a way it never had before. I don't want to be alone anymore. Not in the desperate, needy way where any company will do, but in the specific way where I've found the person I want to build a life with, the person I want on my team, the person whose presence makes everything better and whose absence leaves a hole nothing else can fill. That person is you. It's always been you from the moment we met, even when I was too stubborn or too scared to admit it.